Imagine standing in the shadow of a centuries-old castle, its stone walls towering above you, each corner wrapped in silent, forgotten secrets. Or perhaps you're wandering through the desolate streets of an abandoned town in the American West, where only the wind and your own footsteps break the stillness. These places are famous, of course, each attracting tourists from all over the world who come to admire their historical charm. But some visitors have found more than just beauty and history. They've found something inexplicable, encounters with the supernatural that defy reason and linger in their memories long after they've left. In this video, we'll delve into the hidden side of well-known tourist destinations, uncovering the chilling experiences of those who ventured into castles, ghost towns, and mysterious mansions only to be met with sights, sounds, and presences they can't explain. What lurks in these places long after dark? And why do some visitors sense something watching them, hear footsteps when no one is there, or even catch a fleeting glimpse of a figure from another time? Let's set off on a journey to discover the mysteries that lie hidden within these historic sites. Stories that might just make you see these popular destinations in a whole new light. For centuries, humans have been captivated by the allure of the unknown, the thrill of discovering something hidden, inexplicable, or otherworldly often draws people to places rich in history and rumour. Many tourists, when they visit iconic landmarks and historical sites, seek not only to witness beauty and grandeur, but also glimpse the past that lingers in the air, sometimes in ways that defy rational explanation. But what is it about these destinations that makes them so prone to tales of the supernatural? Ancient castles, once home to nobility and warriors, witness countless events. Battles fought, lives lost, loves tragically ended. Ghost towns across the American West, once bustling hubs of activity during the gold rush, now lie eerily silent, abandoned to the ravages of time. In both places, life was intense, often marred by violent endings or unresolved tensions, creating, as some believe, a fertile ground for spirits unwilling or unable to move on. These are not just stories invented to entertain or frighten. They are accounts passed down by locals, guides, and visitors who swear by what they saw or heard. Perhaps it's an echo of the past, a residual energy, or a restless spirit tied to a place that's unwilling to let go. Whatever it may be, such tales intrigue visitors, sparking an odd combination of fear and fascination. Today, we'll explore some of these stories. From castles where shadows move on their own, to ghost towns where old residents still seem to wander, these are the places where history refuses to remain silent. So, as we step into our first tale, prepare yourself for a journey through locations where the past and the supernatural seem inseparably intertwined, blurring the boundaries between what is real and what lies just beyond our understanding. Story 1. The Haunted Castle. Our first stop on this eerie journey takes us to the heart of Scotland, where the looming Edinburgh Castle stands proudly atop Castle Rock. Its walls are steeped in 1,000 years of history, echoing tales of war, betrayal, and the ghosts that seem to linger in its darkened corridors. Edinburgh Castle has long attracted visitors, drawn to its historical significance and the majestic views over the city. But some who venture within its walls report something far more unnerving than relics and royal artifacts. As you walk through the dimly lit chambers, it's easy to feel the weight of history pressing in. Guides speak of numerous sightings, spectral figures that seem to appear from nowhere, vanish into thin air, or wander silently through empty halls. One of the most famous ghosts here is said to be a headless drummer, whose rhythmic, echoing beats have been heard on quiet nights, sending shivers down the spines of those nearby. Legend has it that his ghostly drumming warns of danger, a harbinger of ominous events on the horizon. But the eerie encounters don't end with the headless drummer. There are frequent reports of sightings of prisoners from the castle's dungeons, where people endured unimaginable hardships centuries ago. Visitors have claimed to see fleeting images of men dressed in ragged clothing, their faces gaunt and filled with sorrow. wandering through the damp stone-walled cells. Some have even reported feeling an invisible hand brush against their arm, or the sensation of being watched by unseen eyes. One particularly chilling area is the underground vaults beneath the castle. Known for their dark past, these vaults housed the city's most destitute residents during outbreaks of the plague. Guides and tourists alike have described an intense feeling of unease, as though the walls themselves hold on to the suffering of those who perished within them. Some visitors have even claimed to feel cold spots or hear distant, sorrowful cries echoing through the stone. What causes these strange phenomena? Are they mere tricks of the mind, brought on by the dim light and solemn atmosphere? Or is there something truly supernatural at play? A force unable to leave this historic fortress? For those who believe, Edinburgh Castle remains one of the most haunted places in Europe, a site where the tragic events of the past seem to have left an indelible mark. As we leave this haunting fortress, we're reminded that history, with all its intensity and emotion, often leaves traces that linger beyond physical remains. And so, with the first chills of our journey behind us, we turn our gaze westward to another kind of haunting altogether, a place where the echoes of an old American town can still be heard on the wind. Let's travel to the desolate remains of a ghost town, where the souls of pioneers seem as restless as ever. 2. The ghost town of the Old West. From the misty hills of Scotland, our journey leads us to a starkly different, yet equally haunting place, Bodie, California, a ghost town nestled in the mountains of the American West. Once a booming gold mining town in the late 1800s, Bodie was filled with the clamour of prospectors, the sounds of pickaxes echoing through the mountains, and the voices of people seeking fortune in the gold rush. But as quickly as it rose to prominence, the town fell into decay, abandoned to the desert winds and the sands of time. Walking through Bodie today is like stepping into a snapshot of the past, where wooden buildings stand eerily frozen, as though the townsfolk might return at any moment. However, visitors often report that the residents never truly left. Strange happenings and sightings are a common experience here. It's said that on quiet nights, visitors hear the distant clinking of glasses from the old saloon, or catch the faint strains of piano music drifting from the long silent church. Some have even claimed to see spectral figures moving in and out of the decaying buildings, like echoes of those who once called Bodie home. One of the more frequently seen spirits is that of a young girl, often glimpsed near the cemetery on the outskirts of town. Some visitors describe her as wearing old-fashioned clothing, her face appearing solemn and lost. Legend has it that she was a child of a miner who perished in a tragic accident, and she now wanders the abandoned streets, searching for her family in vain. Those who encounter her often report an overwhelming sense of sadness, as though the weight of her lonely search lingers with them even after they leave. The old mine shafts and abandoned homes hold their own mysteries. Some visitors report feeling an icy chill when stepping too close to the deserted entrances of the mines, where many met their end during Bodie's heyday. Others claim to have seen shadowy figures near the mines at twilight, silent as they linger on the edges of vision, then disappearing as soon as they're fully noticed. Locals have warned of the Bodie curse, a belief that anyone who steals an artifact from the town, be it a nail, a rock, or a coin, will be cursed with bad luck until the item is returned. Many believe this curse is enforced by restless spirits, determined to guard the town's remains. Why do these spirits remain in Bodie? Is it a deep connection to the place they once lived and worked, or could it be that certain tragic events have left them bound to this ghostly town? Bodie stands as a chilling reminder that while gold may have drawn people here, something else entirely keeps them tied to its empty streets. Our next destination shifts once again to a different kind of haunting. Leaving behind the open, sun-bleached streets of Bodie, we journey to a mansion steeped in its own dark history, a place where luxury and tragedy intertwine, and where one spirit is said to be as present as the walls themselves. 3. The mysterious mansion. Leaving behind the dusty streets of Bodie, we now find ourselves before the grand yet eerie facade of Rose Hall. a historic mansion in Jamaica. Built in the 1770s, Rose Hall stands as a symbol of colonial wealth and power, but also, as legend has it, of untold horrors and lingering spirits. Overlooking the Caribbean Sea, the mansion's beauty hides a dark and haunting history. Rose Hall is not only famous for its architecture, but also for its most infamous former resident, Annie Palmer, also known as the White Witch of Rose Hall. According to legend, Annie Palmer was the last owner of Rose Hall, a woman who was both feared and rumoured to dabble in dark magic. Stories say that she was responsible for the deaths of several husbands, whom she murdered in cold blood to seize their wealth and keep control over the estate. Locals claim she was also responsible for the suffering of countless enslaved people on her plantation. The locals believe that her soul never left Rose Hall and that she continues to haunt the mansion, cursed to wander its grand but empty rooms for eternity. Visitors to Rose Hall frequently report sightings of a mysterious female figure dressed in white, believed to be Annie herself. She's often seen standing at windows, staring out towards the sea, or drifting through hallways late at night. Some tourists have described hearing soft whispers or footsteps echoing down the corridors when they believed they were alone. A few even claim to have felt a chilling presence pass by them, leaving them with an intense feeling of dread that they can't quite shake. The room where Annie is said to have practiced her dark rituals is especially notorious, with guests often experiencing strange sensations there. Some feel an unexplainable heaviness, while others report a sudden drop in temperature, as if an invisible force is nearby. Local guides have their own tales to tell, speaking of flickering lights, doors that creak open by themselves, and shadows that move as if someone unseen is still pacing the floors. Though some might dismiss these occurrences as mere superstition, there's no denying the sense of unease that fills the air at Rose Hall. Whether or not the stories are true, the mansion remains one of Jamaica's most famous and most haunted attractions. Many who visit come seeking answers, but leave with only more questions, haunted by the unsettling feeling that Annie's spirit may still be watching from the shadows. As we leave Rose Hall behind, our journey through these supernatural tales draws to a close. But these stories linger, as real as the places themselves, casting a shadow over the beauty and history that draws so many to these destinations. It's a reminder that sometimes the most memorable part of a place isn't what we see, but what we feel deep down, as if someone or something is still there with us. As we emerge from these stories of haunted castles, ghost towns, and mysterious mansions, we're left with a lingering sense of wonder and perhaps a chill. What is it that keeps these spirits bound to the places they once called home? Is it a longing, a tragedy unresolved, or simply the weight of history that ties them to this world? Whatever the explanation, these tales remind us that history is not just a series of events, but a collection of emotions, lives, and moments that continue to resonate long after they've passed. For many, the allure of travel lies in discovering something beyond the ordinary. We search for beauty, for stories, and sometimes for mysteries. But these tales show us that beauty and mystery are often intertwined. Places that we visit for their architectural grandeur or historical significance may hold secrets that few will ever fully understand. And for those of us fascinated by the supernatural, these destinations offer a deeper kind of thrill, a chance to connect with the unknown, to feel a presence from another time, and perhaps to glimpse a side of history that exists just beyond the veil of the visible. As you travel to new places or revisit familiar ones, consider looking beyond the obvious. Think about the lives lived there, the experiences hidden within the walls or streets, and the moments that might still linger just out of sight. After all, every place has a story, but some stories are meant to be discovered in whispers, shadows, and glimpses. If you know of other places where the past refuses to remain silent, share your stories with us in the comments. Who knows? Your tale might be the inspiration for our next journey into the world's hidden mysteries. As our journey through the haunted corners of history comes to a close, we thank you for joining us in exploring these extraordinary places where the past and the supernatural seem inseparably connected. From the echoing halls of Edinburgh Castle to the abandoned streets of Bodie and the haunting elegance of Rose Hall, each destination has shown us that history often leaves behind more than physical remnants. For some, the impact of past lives, tragedies, and mysteries endures in ways that go beyond the explainable. If these tales of ghostly encounters and haunted locales have sparked your curiosity, we invite you to join us again for more journeys into the unknown. There are countless places around the world with stories yet to be uncovered, each waiting to be explored. In our next video, we'll step into yet another realm of mystery, a place where time appears to have stopped and where the past feels astonishingly close. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and hit the notification bell to stay updated. And if you know someone who'd be as intrigued by these stories as you are, share this video with them. Until next time, keep wondering, keep exploring, and remember, sometimes the past is closer than we think.